Manx Radio Podcasts, powered by Shaw.
Well, hello and welcome to this week's Countryside with Kiri Kermode and Simon Clark. And, well, what a Saturday we had last week at the opening of a brand new feature. It fits in beautifully with that area that they've created at South Brule Plantation, doesn't it?
That's right, they've harvested the trees and now that rough area has been developed into this wonderful skills area, and it really is brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, and of course we had representatives from DEFA there and the mountain bike clubs as well, because obviously it's a mountain bike skills area, and they've got little jumps there set up and berms made of wood and a pump area, which you'll hear them talk about in the programme as well. But it was great that so many people were invited and so many people were so enthusiastic about it, and so many people actually took their kids as well to have goes on them.
That's
Even
right.
had a lap myself.
That's right, but not only that, if you're not even into mountain biking, you can still go and take a look at what they've done. It is a real spectacle, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a nice walk-in round there. So that's on this week's programme. And also connected with that, with the mountain bike success in the Gotland Island Games.
That's right, farmer's daughter Kiri Quayle went to her first Island Games and came back with 2 silver medals and 2 fourth individual positions as well. She was absolutely delighted, but a real beginner at mountain biking as well, so this young lady's got a great future ahead of her.
Good. All right, that's all in this week's Countryside. Here it is.
Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Well, Kiri, what a day it was on Saturday. The opening of a new mountain bike skills area, which surprised me what was there. You know, it was a lovely day, and there was a lot of people who were invited there from the mountain bike clubs, from DEFA, the forestry parts of it, and everyone who was involved in making this happen. It was great to see, wasn't it?
It really was. There was a good turnout, but it's essential for the development of the mountain biking folk on the Isle of Man to develop these skills, because as we see, some of them go away to the UK to take part in these mountain bike challenges, and they're doing very well.
We are. We spoke to people about various aspects of how this came about and also what it may hold for the future. And the first person you caught up with was the Minister, Kiri.
That's right. I spoke to Minister Geoffrey Boot, and he was delighted with the progress they've made up at the South Brule Plantation.
It's absolutely wonderful, and I'm really pleased to be able to open it this morning. It's a great asset to the island. The first skills centre we've got, but as you can see, cyclists coming round. We've got children from 4 or 5 up to adults of my age, dare I say. I'm not game to try it myself at the moment, but maybe in the future we'll give it a go when there's no one looking.
But it's lovely for people to get out into the Manx countryside and enjoy it, and what an opportunity this is.
It is, it's great, and this will prepare people, novices and advanced riders, for the plantation access that we're affording all over the island. New trails are springing up, and what better to offer people? Healthier, fitter,
Yes,
and
exactly.
fun as well. So,
And some of the young people have just come back from the Island Games competing in the mountain bike classes. They've come back with medals, so it just shows that our plantations are benefiting.
well, if you put stuff in lower down, it works its way through the system, and I think that's great as well. And I'm just looking at this young lad over here. He looks a bit trepidatious, but I think he'll give it a go in a minute.
He's braver than I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a lot of hard work has gone into it from DEFA and the construction and just the local mountain bikers, I imagine.
Yes, there's been contributions from a number of parties, which I acknowledged when I was opening officially. We've had funding from various parties as well, a lot of volunteer labour. And I have to say, within the department, Graham Watson has been a great motivator in bringing it all together. So thank you to everyone that's worked so hard to bring it to fruition.
John Dog, you had a very important role here in the South Brule Plantation, helping with the mountain bike setup.
I got involved with the joinery side of it. My brother and I had 1 or 2 people helping me, but lastly my brother and I came along here and we did the berm, which is behind us there. That was a bit of a technical thing, and we've done what I think is its shape and its pattern I think is very artistic.
It certainly is. If our listeners could see it, it goes from ground level right up. Would it be 3 or 4 foot, that, John?
Yeah, well, at the back, if you ride the back, it's probably about 5 foot high at the back. you know, on the if you're up the top of the berm. But it's just been a great project to be involved with, you know. And there's kids going around here, like something's only about 2 foot tall and they're on push bikes and they're going around and they think nothing of it.
This is it, because they're cycling along here on these wonderful boardwalks that you've put together, nailed them all together, and they go in a corkscrew fashion, don't they? Down and round, and it's to teach them the balance.
Yes, it's teaching them everything, the berm and all, but they've got another one that's quite wide and gradually gets narrower and narrower until it's 4 inches wide. It's only about 6 inches off the ground, but the last bit, you're basically trying to ride along about 10 foot and keep your balance, you know.
Yeah.
And obviously if your balance goes, you just ride off it. It's not as if it's 10 foot up, but it's just teaching skills, and the skills you learn for the likes of here are life skills, for want of a better word. When you're cycling on the main road, you know, if something happens, you have to do a quick SWAT or something like that. You know, I think it's great. It's a fantastic facility, and people want to come up here and have a look. And apart from this little bit here, there's all sorts of rides through the forest, and you can get away from everywhere. You're doing no harm. You can ride as hard or as slow as you want. It's a facility, and it's a fantastic use of the resources we've got, because it's here anyway. Yeah. Why not use it?
So you think it's a good idea to have these in the plantation then?
Oh, aye, yes. All these plantations, they could have similar things. I'm not saying, you know, berms and all sorts, but open up, make pathways for people to go and ride.
Well, it's something to be proud of yourself and your brother there, John. It's going to be enjoyed for years to come, I imagine.
Thank you very much. Good admired.
David, so this was one of your main ideas up in the South Burrell plantation today, the mountain bike skills area.
Yeah, what it was, some years ago, some people came and spoke to us and said, look, we could do with the skills area in the Isle of Man. We've got nothing like that over here. And so myself and Adam Henderson, both in the Manx Mountain Bike Club, said, OK, let's go and do it. Mm-hmm. So what we did, we sat down with DEFA and said, where can we do this? And we worked a few places out, and we ended up with South Burrell. And then I went to away to find some funding. Realised I wasn't expecting DEFA to pay for this, so I got funding from Manx Lottery Trust, from the Sports Council. The club put some money into it as well, and so did End to End Legacy. So thanks to all those people. Brilliant. And that really got the ball rolling. And so we got the plans made up, we got planning permission, and it's been quite a long process, quite a long learning process as well. But what we've done is shown that we can operate with DEFA, with other organisations, and cooperate together to build something that actually is really good for the Isle of Man, for getting people out and about on their bikes. And that's what we just want to see everybody on 2 wheels. That's it.
Well, this is it, and you certainly have managed that this morning. It's absolutely teeming here of all age groups. But the materials that have been used are all natural. They were all probably already here.
They're all local materials. The wood's locally sourced timber from the sawmill. They're treated as well. The wood chippings from the sawmill as well. Yeah, it's all local stuff. Just no miles in them at all, really, to be honest, really.
And long term, is this what you'd like to see in most plantations, this kind of area?
Not specifically this. We're using this as a test example, really. But the idea here is you learn and hone your skills here. Then you go out into plantations, and if you go in any plantations here, there are miles and miles of routes being built by volunteers. And once again, DEFA helps with us on that one. DEFA's really good in supplying materials, but we'll actually do the trail building to set standards. And you go into Conrenny plantation, there's trails that you go into. If you want to go for the enduro stuff, you go to Kringle plantation. South Burrell's really good. In fact, the marble plantations you go to, Ballure in the north, Sky Hill, you're coming across bridges and trails and tracks, and what's happening is it's all coming together, and this is just part of the jigsaw. So go back to your question, do we see one of these in every plantation? No, we don't need to, but this is a good starting point to start from.
I can imagine some of the scenery is absolutely beautiful, and some of us may never have seen it before, so it's exploring and finding new places on our island, isn't it?
When I ride on a Sunday, I ride on a Sunday morning generally with a friend, and our task is always ride a trail we've never ridden before. And even if it's 20 metres, it's counted as a new trail. And we manage it most weekends. We manage it.
Really?
There are so many routes and trails and little snooks through here you can find. It's quite phenomenal. For an island of such this size, I know when people come across a ride here, they go, "Wow, we had no idea."
Nigel, this is a wonderful area here, opened to everybody that does mountain biking, basically. But it's a great asset to the island.
Absolutely, yes. It should make people come out and try it. Try the skills area. From novices through to experts, they can all improve. A great asset, like you say, to the tracks and the routes that we have on the island. So It's something that they can just start off with and then grow from here.
Do you think many visitors would enjoy setups like this?
I think that it's something that they would come to the South Burrell. They've got the car park, there's the trails here already, and then this is just an addition. So it's something where maybe the family can come and the youngsters can come, and then the dads or the mums can go and do the bigger trails off the back of it when the kids are tired out.
We're very lucky. We do have lots of mountain biking events put on throughout the year.
We do indeed. And the next one, surprisingly, is the Manx 100, which is the British Cycling Marathon Champs this year over the shorter 100k course. Overall, we have about 110 entrants from the UK coming over, and we have the Manx Championships, which is over the 100-mile route, and we've got about 75 entrants in the 100-mile race and about 100 entrants in the 100k race. So it should be a good day out. It's on the 30th of July, starts at 6:30 in the morning from the grandstand.
Good golly.
And we're expecting the winners to finish about 12:30 on the 100k, but the 100 miles takes about 10 hours to do.
Oh my word. And which one are you taking part in?
I just panic in the grandstand.
But it's brilliant to see visitors wanting to come to the Isle of Man. It's
Exactly,
given
yes.
them the opportunity to put it in their calendar maybe.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And what we find is from the guys that come across is they're amazed that the island has so much to offer. We have areas that are like the Lake District, areas that are Yorkshire Dales, areas that are Peak District, and when they come, they can't believe that we can have so much inside such a small area.
There's been a lot of development over the years. It's taken a lot of people to get it to this standard.
Yes, yeah, there's a lot of effort in the back office and the back ground that not many people see. That takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. Dave and Adam and little lads, they do, you know, Steve Collins and all the team, and Locked and Loaded as well, which is the guys who do the 24-hour race. They spend a lot of time doing a lot of work that everyone benefits from, but only a small number of people actually do the work. But everyone enjoys it, and that's why, you know, even the guys doing this sort of work enjoy doing what they do. And I enjoy putting out, I will put out the whole 100-mile route on my own over a whole week, because I enjoy doing that sort of stuff.
Yes.
So
well, and plus it's getting you in the wonderful Manx countryside.
indeed. Even in the rain. Even in the rain.
And there's
Not
lots
today.
of that.
Not today.
But
But
no.
the rain and the midges. Yeah.
We've happened on a glorious morning here, and this is obviously something to benefit the whole of the island.
Absolutely. Yep.
Well, Graham Watson, this is an exciting day.
It is. It's been a long time in the making, probably in excess of 18 months, believe it or not. But we're finally opening it today, and it's a wonderful day to be opening it as well. The sun is shining.
The amount of people that's come to show interest in it, I think, is encouraging as well.
It is. We thought of a quiet opening involving a control group. So the people you see here at the moment have been invited in just to demonstrate how the tracks actually work. We're hoping later on today that the general public will come in and make use of it as well.
And the nice thing about it is it sort of fits in with the recreational side of it. You've made just a bit higher up the forest than this.
Yes, South Brewell's been evolving as a recreational hub over the past probably 8 to 10 years now. We've got business partners on the far side of the forest in 8 Man and Laser Mayhem and Segway, and now this is just complementing that in terms of the amenity side.
How long has it took in the plan, and is it a lot of hoops to jump through to get things like this, or is it not bad, it's fairly encouraged?
Oh no, it's definitely been a long time in the coming. It's the first of its type on the Isle of Man. We were approached by the Manx Mountain Bike Club probably about 2 years ago now, but the things actually got started about 18 months ago. It's evolved, the actual design has evolved. We've been working in team with a guy called Adam Henderson, who's a local mountain bike leader and runs Pedal for Progression. But actually what you see here wasn't always the case. We've liaised with the Forestry Commission in Scotland to get ideas on how they do their things over there, and they very kindly lent us the grading system which we see on the interpretation panels at the top end of the skills area. So it means that people who come here are familiar with the types of colour schemes that they'll see as in terms of the grade of the actual features that you see on the track itself.
And what about plans? If this is used well and the word gets round, will other forests and areas of the island be jumping on you for more?
I think so, and I think it's happening already. I mean, we've got several other areas which we have been developed in different ways. We've got stuff going on at Archalagan, lots of volunteer support and corporate sponsors to get things like play areas and mazes. We've got Archalagan and more trails. There's lots of trail building going on. Conrenny Community Woodlands is another site where there's plenty of things happening, and so it goes on. So eventually we've got lots of links across the island which will give people various opportunities and different styles of experience.
Well, Sean Gellan, you are one of the instigators, I think, helping in the design of this skills area too.
Well, yeah, the Adam Henderson and Dave Guberman come to us with the plans, and we very well execute the plans, and so I assist Graham when we get out and we get these trails built all over the estate, really. We just visit the sites, we talk to the volunteers to see what they want, and we agree on a way forward, and that's certainly what happened here.
Is it a case of you've got this area and then see what you can design around it, or do the people sort of say, well, we need a bit with a hill here and a bit there?
Yeah, we did look at a few sites within South Brule itself, and this was the finally decided upon, because this is one of the sites that had to have some of the trees cleared because of Phytophthora, which is the disease that's killing the larch. So fortunately they weren't actually that big in here, the trees. They're only maybe 8 years old, so we managed to clear them with a mulcher rather than get the harvester in. So it's quite a level site, so it suited what the plans really.
Yeah, and there's corkscrews here made of wood and jumps off the end. I mean, it's relatively new now, but it looks so smart, and it's something I think that maybe it was needed for the mountain bike fraternity, certainly, because it's all right going through the straight and normal forests and the bits of jumps that are naturally there, but when they go into competition, I suppose these are the things that they've got to contend with.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a skills area, and it's the whole idea of this was these are the sort of features you'll find in the different plantations as you go around the island. You might not find the boardwalk with the curl in and a pump track in Archalagan, but at different venues we have bits of all these, so it's to get you ready for the whole estate really.
The pump track is not just for parking your bike up and pumping the tyres up, is it?
No, it's this little feature behind us here, and the whole idea of it is that the way they're designed, you should be able to, if you're a proficient rider, be able to do multiple laps without pedalling really. You're just using your body and pumping the suspension, or it's very good for technique.
For the fit people then, maybe?
Yeah, for fit people, yeah. So, yeah, the younger generation can
But
ride
you must be sort of proud of it, seeing everyone here today and actually seeing people using it.
Oh yeah, for sure, and we're always proud of working with volunteers. It's something we're doing more and more. But we've also had contractors in on this job as well, and as you can see, the wooden features, it's not that straightforward, so we've had good hand of John Dog Hollister with that one, and we let them loose. Yeah. Let them loose with a saw and a hammer.
And what about the use of it? Can people just come and use it when they want, or is it open at certain times?
Yeah, it's open all the time now. So we've got these clear interpretation boards on the entry, which explains to people what skills level they need for the different features around the course, and everything's marked with its relevant colour grade. So it gives people an idea. So there's everything from the tiny kids can come in and ride certain elements of it, but certainly some bits are a bit more technical and more for proficient riders.
But don't abuse it.
Yeah, don't abuse it. Yeah, we don't want people coming in here and tearing the place up, throwing the benches upside down, and riding in a different way to how it's intended. Which can quite often be a problem. Some might decide that another bit looks fun if it's coming from a different direction. So hopefully that won't happen. It'll self-police. People are very good up around these areas for keeping an eye on things. It's always busy in South Brule. Always.
That was Sean Gelling and Graham Watson of DEFA, David Guberman, Nigel Morris, John Dog Collister and Minister Geoffrey Boot.
Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Well, whilst I was at the opening of the new mountain bike skills area at South Brule, I caught up with the Director of Forestry, Amenity and Lands, part of DEFA, Andrew Sidebottom, and there have been recent social media reports of people lighting fires in forests, and I asked him about the dangers of this.
We can face problems at certain times of the year with very wet spells and erosion, or particularly dry spells and the risk of fires and things, so it's all about being very careful what you do and make sure it's all sustainable for fun.
Now, social media is a good thing and a bad thing, and there's been some postings on it regarding people setting or making campfires in forest areas, and it's not a great thing to be doing, is it?
It's not really, no. I know it seems attractive to go camping and have a fire and sit around the fire, but these dry spells, everything gets very tinder dry, and it only takes a spark, and you can lose thousands of acres of the uplands. Then fires can get into the peat, you lose peat, and the resulting problems for that can be huge. Loss of stored carbon in the hills, the impacts on water quality. All of our drinking water comes out of the hills eventually. It's it's important areas, so it's got to be looked after.
One of the things I suppose people don't think in that way, that a little fire gets into a bigger fire. All right, it's out of control. Let's ring the fire brigade. But it's not quite so easy to get a fire engine right in the middle of a forest somewhere, is it?
Absolutely not. No, it's not like your normal street fire, which whilst it can take some tackling, it's a very different game. Trying to tackle a fire in a countryside area, dense tree cover, you've got wide open hills with gullies and ruts that you can't get fire engines to. It's tough to get it out, and it's a very skilled job actually to control fires in the uplands. It's not something that the fire brigade get involved with regularly, and actually shouldn't need to get involved in. With a little bit of respect for the countryside, it shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, we've seen it worldwide, haven't we? The devastation that these bushfires and things can cause in Australia and places around the world as well.
Absolutely, and we've got areas on the island that have been on fire many years ago, and they're still like the surface of the moon in places. It takes a long time to recover.
So what's the message for it? Fires are banned in forests?
Yeah. I mean, we don't expect people to light fires in forest areas. Equally, we don't expect people to be camping there. They're there to be enjoyed during the day, enjoyed responsibly. If you're out for a ride or a walk at night, that's great, but don't discard cigarette ends or make sparks or fires, basically.
What about rubbish in the forest? Is that a problem too?
It can be, not a huge problem. We just ask people to take it home with them or use bins where they're provided. Again, it's just about respect. It looks a mess, it can be bad for the wildlife, and it can be a fire risk, I guess.
All in all, it's just a great thing that people can enjoy our forests, and that we're putting something back for them to enjoy in there, and hopefully that people don't abuse it.
Absolutely, no, we want people to enjoy the countryside. We want people out there using it for fun and for health, but just enjoy it and enjoy it responsibly. The message basically is enjoy it but leave no trace that you've been there.
The Director of Forestry, Amenity and Lands, Andrew Sidebottom, telling us about the problems that not just fires, of course, can do when you light them in forests, but litter as well and things like that, and it can be very problematic, can't we? We've mentioned there, Kiri, isn't it? You see it around the world, in Australia and the bushfires, and Portugal, of course. It can have tragic consequences, can't it?
This is it, and especially with the good weather we're having here on the Isle of Man at the minute, it is really hot and dry. So, it's not out of the question. These things can get out of hand. But we are very lucky. People are mindful and use the plantations, and the litter isn't too bad here on the island, but it's always something to look out for.
It is. Well, it wasn't just the Isle of Man that had the good weather, Kiri. Gotland as well?
Yes, it was absolutely lovely at Gotland Island Games, and many of the Isle of Man sports people enjoyed great success. I spoke to Kiri Quayle, a farmer's daughter, to chat about her success in the mountain biking section.
It was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was a really pretty island. It was quite similar to here, really. Yeah, it was just really pretty. Once you left Visby, like the city we were staying in, it was just like pan flat, fields full of flowers. It was beautiful, really nice to ride out around.
You were obviously doing mountain biking. Was it different to the Isle of Man?
It was quite different in that it was really dry. Obviously here I'm used to going through 2 foot of mud and slippy roots and stuff, so it was dry and rocky, so that was something different, but it was good. I adapted. So.
And what did you think of the competitions? You were up against some of the very best.
The girl that won, she's actually in the World Cup series, so she's top 5 in the world, so that was quite interesting, but it's nice to race against people that are doing so well.
But your achievement wasn't just 4th, though. You did absolutely exceptional.
Thank you. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was tussling with the girl in bronze for quite some time, but I just couldn't hold on to her in the end, and that was the same in the other race as well. So 2 fourths, it's pretty gutting, but I couldn't have tried any harder, so I can't really complain.
Well, that was the individual, but you did come away with 2 wonderful silver medals, though.
Yeah, I was over the moon with that. My 2 teammates, Emma Atkinson and Emily Luca, they got 8th and 9th, so we managed to get the silver team medal in both races, so I was really pleased with that. Getting up on the podium was really quite a nice feeling with the Manx flag.
Where did it all start, though?
Well, it actually came up on my Facebook today that I got my mountain bike 3 years ago today. So, I feel like I've come quite a long way since then. The Manx Mountain Bike Club are really good. They have an autumn series and a winter series, so they hold maybe 4 to 6 races, and then you get ranked in the series, so that's quite a good thing to get involved in, and that's kind of where I came from. And then in October of 2016, the Island Games started getting mentioned. I thought, maybe I could try. I mean, it felt quite unrealistic at that point, but I thought if I put my mind to it, I might actually be able to get somewhere here. So I put my name down. I said, maybe think about me. And I started my training plan with Elliot Baxter in January. And since then, I've just, kept on improving, really.
Has mountain biking or cycling always been like an interest to you?
No, not really. Like, in my teenage years, well, I'm only 20 now, but like when I was younger, I was into athletics. So I was doing lots of cross country and long distance running, high jump. So I've always been into sport, but only really in the last 2-3 years have I been into cycling.
But with living on a farm, you would be quite a tough cookie anyway, and especially with 3 brothers as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's definitely hard on me throwing ourselves over ramps and skateboards and things. Definitely made me tough.
But you've had a successful year already here in the Isle of Man with winning the Cycle Fest.
Yeah, and that was an amazing race. I set out to win, and that's what I went to do, and it's what I got, so I was just really happy with that. That was a really tough race. The wind up on top of Sky Hill was just crazy. I mean, if you took one hand off, you would have been off your bike. So yeah, I was really happy to win that, and I think I won it by quite some margin, so I was really pleased with that.
So do you do an awful lot of training, because obviously you have to be very, very fit?
Yeah, I've got this training plan with Elliot, so it's generally 5 to 6 times a week I'm on my bike, and mainly in the week I'm on my road bike getting miles in on the roads, and then at the weekend I go out with the lads and put some efforts in the plantations and the hills.
And do you have many crashes?
Oh, I'm known for a good spill.
So where do you hope to go with it? Because obviously you're very new to the mountain biking scene. Have you got ambition to go further?
Yeah, well, I've got 2 more races coming up this year across, and then I've obviously got the end-to-end and the Manx 100, so just see where it goes for now. My team manager did mention maybe try for the Commonwealth Games, so I'll try for that and see where I go.
And do you have many sponsors or much sponsorship? Because obviously you've got to travel to the UK as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting quite expensive now. Like, I'm going away once or twice a month. It's £400 a time. It's really tough. And like the Island Games itself was at least £1,200. Then you got the cost of maintaining your bike, your kit. Yeah, it's not easy, and then all your nutrition and stuff. Currently, I don't have any sponsors, so I'm kind of looking for a bit of help, really.
So to come away with the 2 team silvers and 2 individual fourths, I imagine that's unfinished business to you.
I'm pretty good with my fourth, so I wanna go there again and better my positions. I want to get on that podium in the individual.
With a busy training schedule, though, Kiri, how do you manage to fit in work as well as everything else?
I mean, it is tricky, but I like my sleep as well, so I've got to try and get some naps in there. I do a bit of cleaning at Growler Cottages, and I do some deliveries for Hermes and Laxey. And then next week I'm due to start my internship with the Commonwealth Games Association, so that'll be a really good thing to put on my CV. I'm really looking forward to that.
That's a massive achievement to be part of the Commonwealth organisation, because obviously that's where you want to hope to go in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that would be amazing. At the moment it kind of seems a bit unrealistic, but then that's how I felt for the Island Games, so anything's possible, I guess, if I put my mind to it, to see where it takes me.
That was Kiri Quayle, silver medalist from the Island Games.
Great success in the Island Games. It's good that people, from all walks of life compete for the Isle of Man in the Island Games, isn't it? From farming background as well, and just fitted in nicely, of course, with she'll be able to go and practice up at the skills area as well.
That's right. She says that there's some beautiful tracks around the Isle of Man, and she gets out as often as she can, but these will certainly hone their skills for future events, and she's real keen, and so are a lot of other young people on the island.
Yeah.
Manx Radio's Countryside is brought to you by NFU Mutual.
Well, there we are. A good mountain bike and outdoor recreational feel to the Countryside programme this week, because the new mountain bike skills area that's been opened in South Brule. And it's great that so many people from DEFA and the clubs are so enthusiastic about developing parts of the forest, isn't it, for recreational use?
That's right, and it's all been done by volunteers, and they have had a little bit of funding, but it's brilliant, and it can be done if everyone works together.
Yeah, it's one of the difficult things, isn't it? But also Kiri's success. I mean, this hopefully will bode for even more success in the future when they've got this sort of area to practice on, like the mountain bike skills area with like Kiri.
That's right. She's a prime example of what success this Isle of Man is having, and areas like this can develop younger children. And like you said, there was some very, very small children there enjoying Saturday's launch. It was an absolutely great day.
Okay, all right. We'll be back next week with more countryside for you. So from me, Simon Clark.
And me, Kiri Kermode.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Don't sit in the slow lane. Join the fast lane right now with Shaw's all-new Superfast Plus broadband. Enjoy more bandwidth, amazing speeds and the best value on the island from just £23.95 per month. So don't be left behind. Get a piece of the high-speed action with Superfast Plus broadband from Shaw. For details, visit our stores in Douglas, Ramsey and Port Erin or click shaw.com.
Love being Shaw.
Terms and conditions apply.